Welcome back my friends, Ricardo Teixeira here. In today's video we'll be using the i7-8600 and the GTX 960 with 4GB of DDR5 memory. We'll be using the latest NVIDIA drivers as the recording of this video. We will be testing today Monster Hunter Stories. Released early this year, on 13th of June of 2024. Here are the system specs. I don't have an i5-3470, but I do have a GTX 960 4GB and the system specs are quite similar in my opinion. But let's go right into the game. We are starting at 1080p with high settings. As we can see, the game is running flawlessly with these configurations. Look at the GPU utilization, 47%, 46%, it's barely half of its capabilities. The CPU is running at 25 to 40% utilization. But then again, this is a very easy to run title. And very colorful one as well. Not a typical Monster Hunter type of game. It's more children friendly, I suppose. But it's quite beautiful. I like this artwork and this style of game. It reminds me of old JRPGs that I loved so much when I was a kid. Very beautiful indeed. And seeing that we have so much performance to spare, let's increase settings a bit. Let's try 1440p with high settings and see what kind of performance we get. Let's remind you that we are locked at 60 FPS per second, because in this type of games you don't need much more than that. And look at that, 60 flat. And the GPU utilization is now at 65 to 72%. The CPU usage is the same, it didn't move a bit from the 26-27, and the game is running absolutely fine with pretty good visuals, I must say. This might seem a little kids game and it's a very easy to run title, but it's quite beautiful. I love the textures, the colors, the palette of colors that this game uses. It's very bright colors, and the performance, it's just fine. I have no complaints in here. 60 frames all of the time at 1440p high settings. And I am recording in a village with lots of NPCs, lots of colors, and I think no issues here, but we can still try 4K and let's see if we can still get a playable experience now in 4K. We have a little performance drop here. As you can see, we are now at 46 to 47 frames per second, but the GPU utilization, it's at 90%. It's not maxed out. And the CPU utilization, it's the same, 24 to 27%. So I don't know if we are being CPU bottlenecked here or not, or if this is just being this card so old and all. But again, 46 to 45, it's what you would get using 4K in high settings. But then again, who thought you would play a 4K game using GTX 960 in 2024? Not me. For sure not me. But then again, let's try reducing to medium if we have some kind of improvement. Not same thing, 44 frames per second, 89% usage in the GPU, the same usage in the CPU as well, so I guess it was not CPU bottlenecked. I think it's a driver issue with this card. But again, if you want to play at 4K, you can still play it. This is a turn-based JRPG, so I don't think you will have any issues playing it like this. But sorry, I'm a little sick right now, but let's try low settings just to see if we get any change. And nope. Still the same performance, still the same frames per second, the same average, the same 1% lows. It's everything the same GPU usage, so no point in going to low settings at 4K. So the best settings to play this game with this system will be definitely 1440p with high settings. Again, I do love the art style of this game. The characters' clothes, the way they move. Look at the boots of that little child there. I think it's very good indeed. But let's jump a little bit in the story and let's go to an open field area to see the performance. Again, 70 to 75% in the GPU utilization. I didn't say that before, but we are only using 1 GB of VRAM. It's quite low, and we are playing it at 1440p. When we were playing at 1080p, we were using less than 1 GB of VRAM. That's amazing in a 2024 game. Just astonishing. Let's see a little fight scene to see how the game performs. Our 1% loss dropped to 1 FPS because this is a real old computer and I'm using a really old HDD, so it's all old school in this system. Yeah, the fight scenes have a little bit of some cooler animations, as we can see head to head. I've never seen this type of mechanics before, at least that I recall. But then again, it's an interesting fighting system. You have 3 options to choose: power, agility and ability, and it's like rock, paper and scissors. Each one counters the other, so it's quite interesting. This is the tutorial. I don't have many options yet, but I think it will be an interesting game to play. I like this kind of mechanics. But again, flawless experience. You would have no troubles running this game. It is a very easy to run game and a fun one to play. At least that's the opinion I'm getting so far. But then again, this is just the beginning of the game. But quite amusing. That little dinosaur that we got on screen, it's our little pet. I hatched it in the tutorial. It has suppose you can farm some of these pets, collecting eggs. I don't know. I haven't played this game that much to know the mechanics, but I will give it a pass. It's a good looking and very fun game to play, and the better thing is it will run in almost any machine that has at least 1 GB of memory. That's my bet, at least seeing that at 1080p high settings we were using less than 1 GB of VRAM, and now that I put it back in 4K high settings we are barely using more than 1.6 GB of VRAM at 4K. So I do believe 960 with 2 GB of VRAM will run this game just as fine as this one. And that's just my opinion. I have 2 GB GTX 960, so I might try and see if the game runs as good as this. But this is the end of the video for today, my friends. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to do the usual YouTube stuff: like, subscribe, comment, share, give me your opinion about the video and what type of movies do you think I should do, and improvements that I should do in my videos as well. So goodbye, hope to see you soon, and thank you for watching.